You hate America so much? Here's 100 grand. Leave. But their challenge is you can never come back to America. If you come back to America, you go to prison for 10 years. Here's $100,000. Who wants it? But if it gets to a point where they forget to value the job creator or the builders will find a home.
That's what's happening right now, don't you think? In a lot of these Western legacy brand countries, they're turning on investors. You can't do this, you can't do that with your property. If we don't like what you're doing, we're going to take it.
Why? And then you're having this epiphany moment. You're like, people are leaving America. That's a scary thought, by the way, if you think about it.
25 years ago, my father said, go where you're treated best. And he said, this may not be the best place for you as an entrepreneur. When you want to be older, you should find the place that is. If you were to start your business over again today, would you do it in the U.S.? I know a lot of people are going overseas and finding other places. Would you start over again in the U.S.?
Today, I would start it in U.S. I wouldn't do it in California. I would probably do it in Texas, Florida, Tennessee. I'd probably do it in one of those three places.
And do you think eventually the federal government comes and they come in and get in your business, they raise taxes because the victims win? How do you look at that?
Oh, no, I don't think victims win. I don't think victims win. To my core, I don't believe that. Here's why. Say I'm married and I have my wife. I am married, but so my wife and I have been together for 11 and a half years. Say one day she wakes up and she meets a 22-year-old. And she says, oh, he's going to treat me better. I dare you to leave me. Go. Yeah, my heart's going to be broken. Yeah, I'm going to have to start life all over again and sit there and say, dang, freaking this many years I put into this thing, but I'm going to be fine. Because there are billions in a market that would like to find somebody that's going to work, that's not lazy, that treats well, that protects the kids, that raise them well, because they have value to offer. Say my wife was a great mother who is very good at kids and home and all the stuff that she does. Flip it on me. And I go out there and do something dumb. There's big market for her because men are looking for somebody who can ... Same thing. So when you're a creator, you don't ever have to worry. Okay. You may temporarily have a setback. Yes. But no matter where you go, you're going to create commerce. So the people who are voting in a certain way because they're victims, they're getting all the recognition. What they don't realize is the people they work for have many options. Let me say that one more time. The people they work for that pay their salary, they have nearly 200 countries that would love to take them and welcome them. So if a nation like America as a country and the politicians and the government get so greedy and arrogant that they think you're bigger than them, on a smaller scale, Detroit went from 200,000 people to 1.8 million people. It's creating 200,000 manufacturing jobs to now down to 20,000 people. And if you call 911 today in Detroit, it is now the poorest city in America and the most dangerous city in America. If you call 911 today, it takes 59 minutes for the cops to show up. Let me say that one more time. The average 911 call takes 59 minutes for the cops to show up. I can call the cops and say, in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to rob the local bank and take $1 million away from the bank. I go rob the bank, I take my million, I leave, and cops are still not there. What is that a byproduct of? Well, all the private jobs were fired, but the municipal jobs were not. Why? Because more government jobs, more regulators, more this, more that. Today, I made the video about Detroit, and this girl sends me an Instagram story, and I said, I hope you share this with the world. I said, I hope you share this with the world. And here's how it reads. First, when you read it, you're like, oh, she's upset because I called out her city and I called out where Detroit's from and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this one's going to be not pretty. Here's what she says. I lived my entire life here, built businesses employed by many people, and I wanted to stay here forever. COVID made me realize that I always was in an abusive relationship. I just never realized it. Too many regulation. The state is always out to get businesses and fines for literally anything. Agencies like the state liquor authority power trip and take advantage of their own court. It's extortion, really, they say, pay us and we forgive you $20,000. Everything is taxed so high for businesses. It's like we are slaves of the state, and the middle class is tired of handing out to the politicians and everyone. I have a bitter taste in my mouth for the city. I'm leaving, can't wait to go to Austin. Yes, I want to be left alone and pay less taxes to enjoy my hard-earned money. If you look at this girl's picture, you look at it like, okay, cool. Single mother by herself, runs a business. She's moving to Austin, leaving the current financial capital of the world, which is New York. You cannot bully job creators. A job creator will forever be protected because they know how to create. But all the victims, they're not forever going to be protected.
So I'm going to bring up something that you talked about last July 4th, and I want to get your clarification on where you said if someone wants to leave the United States, let them go, let them hand in their passport, let them, I think there was possibly even they get a paycheck out of it. Who is that talking to? Because I kind of feel like, what's the difference in moving from Detroit to Austin? If you're moving from Detroit, why not move to Panama City? Why not move to Singapore? Where does the difference lie in moving within the U.S. for better conditions, and where does it lie when you decide, I'm going to leave, or do I have it wrong?
No, I don't think you have it wrong. I think, to me, that example, when I made that example, was about all the people that complain about America. You hate America so much? Here's $100,000. Leave. But their challenge is, you can never come back to America. If you come back to America, you go to prison for 10 years. Here's $100,000. Who wants it? I dare you to take it. Go. Who's going to take it?
Can I take the money retroactively? I left in 2017 for good. Is the offer still on the table?
You would take it, but you would be amazed. Most of the people that take it are not like you, but you would take it because you're needed anywhere you go. The world's a better place who lands you based on the commerce you're going to create and the education you're going to provide the community. Any country is going to have an open door for a guy like you. Are you kidding me? Come to my country. Hell, I'll take you. Let's go start a country together, right? But the whole purpose of the $100,000 is the same people that bitched about America would never take a $100,000 check to leave. They would never take the $100,000 check to leave if in return they can never come back to America, and if they ever do, they're going to go to jail for 10 years. They would never, ever do that because they'll sit by themselves and say, I guess it's not as bad as they made it out to be. I guess I'm going to stay here. You know, sometimes we are so forgiven as a nation that we allow people to abuse, and sometimes you allow so many of these guys to constantly abuse and take advantage of what America offers that eventually you seem very weak. And it shows weakness in the principles and values that this country was built on. And I don't think there is power and strength in that either, by the way. I think you have to stand up for what this country stands for and fight for it. But if it gets to a point where they forget to value the job creator or the builders will find a home. That's
what's happening right now, don't you think? In a lot of these Western legacy brand countries, they're turning on investors. You can't do this, you can't do that with your property. If we don't like what you're doing, we're going to take it. I mean, we're against. If you're almost worse than a terrorist now in the United States if you're successful, aren't you?
It's a very weird situation, you know. And about these words that people are throwing around nowadays. You know, it's a very interesting place to be in America. But what you're seeing, the glimpse, typically the first glimpse that we see is the following. You first see people moving from California to Texas. Okay. Oh, I'm going to leave California and I'm going to go to Texas. Like people from San Francisco are moving to Southern California. So then people from Southern California move to Manhattan because it's a nicer place to be. People from Manhattan then leave to Dallas, Texas. But what's after Dallas, Texas? What's after Orlando? What's after Nashville? What's after Fort Lauderdale or Tampa or Miami or Boca? It's another country. And they're too arrogant to think that'll ever happen. Are you kidding me? We got 40 million immigrants in America today because they hate their country. And they hate what their country stands for, not what it was originally built on. They hate what the country stands for today, so they came to America. You don't think that can turn? Look, empires have changed many, many times. You cannot just sit there and be arrogant thinking just because you have all the things in the world today that America is going to be number one forever. That's not how life works. It's not how life works. People are not going to stay around you if you're abusive all the time. If you and I are friends, when I was making 50 grand a year, I was chill. I started making $250,000. I get a little arrogant with you. I become a billionaire. I'm intolerable, you can't be around me for too long. People are not just going to sit around and just be around you just because you're a billionaire. A friend still just wants to sit there and just have a drink with you and watch sports and say, hey, bro, how you doing? What's up, bro? How you doing, dude? It's your friend. It's a guy you knew when you were 14 years old. Now you're this billionaire guy? No. What's up? Let's watch a game. I cannot believe they did this. That should be PI. And then, hey, but when we're doing business, you respect me on what I'm doing with my business side. So America's, if they keep bullying the way they're bullying, like I said, there are many countries that would be more than happy to welcome a builder into their nation.
What do you say to the American who leaves, and rather than going to Dallas or Austin, Texas or Florida, they go to Dubai, they cut their ties with the U.S., and they go there because there's a great energy. They go there because there's zero tax. They go there because they can bring in talent more easily from all around the world. What do you say to that guy?
I say, I totally understand. More power to you. Literally, that's what I tell you. I totally understand. More power to you. When I went to Panama City, Panama, and I'm staying at the, Hard Rock Cafe, Hard Rock Hotel, and I go to the casino and I'm playing with the senator and a couple, people who are living there. And I say, so where are you from? Oh, I'm from New York. Oh, so here for vacation? No, I've been here for 11 years. What? Yeah, I've been here for 11 years. Why are you here? The unemployment here is 2.3%. Have you seen the real estate that we build in Panama City? You ever seen anything like this in America? Like, what do you mean? Boom. Like, I've never seen something like that in America. So what do you do? Oh, I'm in construction. No way. Where are you from? I'm from Chicago. Get out of here. Yeah. How long you been here? Been here for 12 years. Why? And then you're having this epiphany moment. You're like, people are leaving America. That's a scary thought, by the way, if you think about it. And by the way, that hasn't happened yet because I don't think tipping point has happened yet. I don't think we've reached the tipping point yet. I don't think that part's happened yet. If you notice, like one of the things they're thinking about doing in certain states is when you leave California, if you made your money here, you cannot take your money out. There's a tax when you take your money out. When they start talking that kind of language, just so you know, it's handcuffs, shackles, and a muzzle coming next where you can't voice your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. already does that if you want to leave for good. It's interesting to me because you do mention the people who all want to move to the U.S. Those people may become creators, and I'm sure you have a very positive impression of immigrants and their ability to be entrepreneurs and to create, and I would agree with that. Don't you think there's a difference between people the 40 million who come to the U.S. because they need any kind of economic opportunity that their country hasn't provided because their country is also doing badly, versus people who have done well? Because it seems like today a lot of people can do well. I have people who grew up in the south of Russia with single moms, people who grew up in Brazil, Morocco, Egypt. They make millions of dollars a year. Is it really because they grew up in the U.S. anymore? Can we really attribute it to this is because you're an American?
Yeah, so I agree. It's again, I said, if you and I start a country together with a group of people and people want to come to the country, you would apply and you'd be asked, what value are you bringing to the country? Simple. What value are you bringing here? Perfect. You bring the value. You're a doctor. We need more doctors. Come on in. You're an engineer. We need more civil engineers. Come on in. I'm a professor for math analysis. Come on in. I'm this. Yeah, come on in. But there's got to be an exchange for value. Unfortunately, we're now saying anybody and everybody, come on in.